How do you know for sure it's time to leave the practice of law? Not just because it's difficult, but because staying is holding you back. I'm Kenny Tatum with Bar Advantage Careers, and today I'm going to walk you through 7 clear signs it might be time to leave your practice. The truth is, being a lawyer is not the only way to use your skills. If you're starting to question whether this path is right for you, and these signs sound familiar, I can help you start your next chapter. Sign number 1, chronic burnout. Every lawyer feels tired sometimes, but if rest doesn't help, if you dread Mondays and Fridays, that's not a lack of stamina, that's burnout. Research from the National Task Force on Lawyer Well-Being shows more than 50% of attorneys report chronic stress or depression, so you're not alone. Weekends don't recharge you? Do vacations not really help? When exhaustion becomes your baseline, if burnout feels permanent, that's a sign you should not ignore. Your mind is signaling a bigger mismatch, not just a bad week. Sign number 2, you started saying, it's not that bad. When lawyers start defending their misery, it's not that bad, I could have it worse. That's denial in a suit. If you're negotiating with yourself the way you would negotiate a settlement agreement or a contract, you kind of already know the outcome. If you're working 60, 70 hours a week, missing time with family and friends for something that's not that bad or just good enough, that's a sign to consider something new. Sign number 3, your values and your work are out of sync. Law is a profession built on advocacy, but what happens when your work or firm culture conflict with what you actually believe? When your daily work clashes with your values, you experience what psychologists call moral fatigue. I remember working on a deal, and I found a really creative solution for a client issue. But when the partner on the deal got really happy about the solution I came up with, I was annoyed. If winning leaves you feeling conflicted instead of proud, that's a powerful cue. You may be meant for a different mission. Sign number 4, no path to advancement. Law firms are relatively unique organizations. Compared to other organizations, they are very flat. The leverage business model used by law firms overtly uses kind of a pyramid structure. So basically, you are either a well-paid worker bee or an equity partner. Increasingly, there are non-equity partner titles, but if you don't get a share of the profits, are you really a partner? The title is great, but a new title does not necessarily equal growth. If you don't see true advancement opportunities, you may be stuck. If you're treated as a billing machine instead of as a professional with unique value, it might be time to rethink. If this is starting to sound familiar, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sign number 5, you're no longer growing. If you've stopped learning or you're doing the same tasks year after year after year with no new challenges, you've hit a growth ceiling. At many firms, the best work for equity partners to push down is ongoing work that can be tackled through repeatable processes. Plus, every firm has lawyers who hoard interesting work. They don't see themselves as silos, they see themselves as centers of excellence. When curiosity disappears and your job makes you feel like you're on autopilot, it's a sign you've outgrown your role, not your talent. Sign number 6, you're envious of people outside of the profession. Have you ever scrolled through LinkedIn and catch yourself thinking, how did they get that job? Or I wish I could do something like that. That's not jealousy, it's information. That's not procrastination, it's exploration. Your subconscious is pointing you towards your next direction. Thousands of attorneys pivot successfully into Bar Advantage careers every year. Jobs like compliance, legal operations, education, HR, and many others. Your curiosity is your clue. You're not lost, you're searching. Why wouldn't you pay attention to what excites you? Sign number 7. You can't imagine doing this in 10 years. Close your eyes and picture yourself 10 years from now. Same firm, same workload, same calendar. If that image makes you cringe, your future self is telling you something. Studies show chronic stress literally rewires the brain's reward circuits. No salary can offset a nervous system in crisis. Ask yourself, if I invested the next 10 years of my time, energy, and intellect, would this career still give me growth, freedom, meaning? Would it be rewarding? If the answer is no, or even I'm not sure, then you owe it to yourself to explore alternatives. Remember, staying where you are has a cost too, and that cost compounds every year you ignore it. One or two of these signs might be manageable, but if you see yourself in several, you owe it to yourself to step back and think about alternatives. Leaving the law doesn't mean failure, and you don't need to have every answer. You just need to acknowledge that more of the same is definitely not the answer. I started Bar Advantage Careers to work with attorneys who want something new. Together, we identify your transferable skills, explore industries where you'll be valued, and build a resume and LinkedIn profile that employers will respond to. I've been an attorney, a recruiter, a career advisor, and a VP of talent acquisition for a billion-dollar company. I know how hiring decisions work inside and outside of the law. If you're ready to explore what's next, I'd like to help. Click the link in the description to get my free Bar Advantage Careers Guide. When you're ready, book a free virtual appointment with me. We'll talk through your situation and build a plan tailored to you. I'm Kenny, this is Bar Advantage Careers, and I help lawyers find what's next.